So the big thing so many people get wrong about property investment is actually the exit. So what we're going to do in this property review video is get into this 3-bed mid-terrace property in Leeds and see if we're going to rent it, buy it, live in it or avoid it. Let's jump in. So as we go through this property, it's just a reminder where you can tell somebody's lived in here a number of years. Just the heating, there's no gas central heating. It's just, I mean, this sort of thing that at some point would have been like, oh yeah, that's what you want. That's when you've made it, right? It's like, got a TV in the house and got one of these, you've made it in life. And then again, as you're coming through, it's just, do you know what? Actually, it's a solid house. Like, I'm not walking around seeing any cracks. It's just your bread and butter, and you know you're doing a full strip back. Like when you look at the lights, you can see this sort of thing going on. It's going to need rewiring, it's going to need plumbing and central heating, but as the house itself, it just looks solid, it's fairly structurally sound. It just needs a full rip out all the way through. And then getting up, and even the back garden is neat, it's tidy, and this might seem like a really small thing, but actually, when you go into those properties, whether it looks rough as anything or it's got stuff all over it, it's actually better being like this, where it's just dated, it's going to be easy to clear out. Outside, yes, it's a small amount of space, but you can tell it's well maintained as well. Like, there's nothing out here that makes me think, oh man, that's going to be a nightmare at all. I mean, kind of an annoying positioning for an outbuilding right in the middle. You know, it doesn't really make available the space out here, but to be honest, every other property is the exact same, so probably wouldn't do too much about here apart from tidy up. So let's go upstairs. Decent size space again. Let's go in here first. 3 solid sized bedrooms. So this is actually the smallest bedroom, but again, you can see that it's a decent sized double, and of course, look, curtains included. So many curtains in this place, not even for the windows, for the wardrobes, the whole lot, and you'll see something special downstairs. So this is the second bedroom, and again, really decent sized space and small things that, I mean, these curtains, we'll do some B-roll of the curtains over this, but these sort of wardrobes, all right, they look pretty horrible, but something as an investor that I'm going to be thinking about, how you're going to be able to utilize the space in the right way. And this, they're not small cupboards, you know, you're not going to need additional storage for the average room, and they're all like this, even the ones with the curtains next door. It's a good amount of space that you're playing with this property. Now, you know from the Wickham Road property that I do love a bath, but it is freezing in here right now. There is no way I'm getting in it. But I know that we sort of do properties up to a standard. We do them quite neutral. And obviously you go through trends right over the years. And I wonder if 30 years from now or something, people are going to come, or like, you know, when I'm 70, 80, whatever it is, and people look at where I live and they go, oh, you could tell an old person lives here. And you know what, like when you look at some of the decor, you're like, at some point this was like, oh, you have got it right. But they like dolphins. I've never understood why people put this on, by the way. If this is you, you're gonna have to tell me in the comments, what is it with toilet seats that cost 25 quid and have shellfish all over them? Just let me know on that. And again, the only thing we've got up here is your bread and butter boiler, okay, which will come out obviously, because if you've been in any sort of old house, there's just these massive tanks in there. And then what happens when you have a bath is you get one full bath of hot water, and then if anyone else wants to have a bath, you've got to wait an hour and a half. So we're going to strip that back, get a combi boiler downstairs. Let's show you downstairs. I want to show you something special. So I'm sat down on the toilet, and you've guessed it, the shellfish memorabilia is going strong. I'm sat on some fish right now. That sounded really weird. Got shellfish toilet rolls, and if you want something special, you know, you're sat here, you're doing your business in the morning or evening, you're like, you know what, just want to check on the electrics. Another curtain comes included with the house, of course. Oh, yeah, there it is. Everything seems about right. And what's not weird about that? So some quick fire numbers with this. This is going to be available for around 97,000 with an end value of 115 to 120. So it's not the deal of the century, especially when you're looking at a 15, maybe 16,000 pound refurb if you're going to be doing it properly. However, this sort of area is a really high demand area. So whilst the on paper figures don't scream out as a massively great investment, it does make a really good return on capital, and we're going to look at values skyrocketing over the next 5 to 10 years as they have in the last decade as well. So one quick tip when you're going around properties, it's really easy to think about how you can save money. So I think you need to go in with some different spec ideas. So for us, it's a tart-up, buy-to-let or flip. A tart-up is going around going, you know what, the kitchen carcasses are actually fine, we're just going to put new faces on there. The bathroom sink needs replacing, but we could keep the, you know, it's already okay. Buy-to-let is obviously for buy-to-let, and flips is we're going to sell it on, so we'll probably sell a bit more for a spec. Now with this property, it's going to be either buy-to-let or flip, and what's really tempting when you're going around is to look for ways to save money. And I really I really recommend against it. And I don't mean saving money and getting good prices, but this is an extreme example because this obviously needs a full strip back. But like the flooring, in a normal buy-to-let property, you might go, do you know what, actually, it's decent flooring, like the wood flooring anyway, try to keep it. But what happens in that, and often people do it with like alcove and stuff like that, and some walls when you're going around, oh, that looks flat enough, but I'll plaster the wall next to it, is it's not revealed just how bad it looks yet. And then when you do something like new and top spec and flat walls and carpets and stuff like that, and you leave that one bit that you thought would look good and it looks rubbish at the end, and it's going to cost you a lot more to then take it back and put something down, because it will probably cause some damage down the line. So when you are doing a full refurb, do a full refurb, okay? Don't try and save £10, £15 there. I prefer, if you're going to do that, just strip it back and get the job done. So here's 3 good things I like about this property. So number 1 is the simplicity of it. It's not full of crap, so you don't need to worry about skips, no cracks, anything. You're coming in, you're getting rid of the stuff, and it's a full refurb. Simple. Number 2 is the area. So it might not seem like much, it's not the wealthiest area of areas in Leeds, but it is really solid. And in this area, the demographic, the properties don't come up very often. You're not looking down the street. In fact, this is the only property on this street that is available. And when they do come up, they get snapped up, and that's both on the buyers and the renters market. And people just seem to want to live in this area and take care of the property. So from a rental perspective and a sale perspective, you're going to end up getting a really long-term tenant that wants to make this house their home, and the same goes for buyers as well. Number 3 is there's so much space in this house. There's so much room for activities. Oh my God, okay, that's done my knees in. But seriously, little things like this, I know it's only a small thing, but every single room in here, you've got massive amounts of space in there, even in the weird electric toilet downstairs, in each of the weird rooms with the curtains, there's space in every single room. And when you're thinking about someone living here, you can make use of that and make it a thing to point out. It's just storage. So whilst it doesn't add anything to the look of the property when you're going around, you know, the boxes that you've got, the stuff you only get out once a year, like there's literally a Christmas tree under there, things like that, and it just allows it all to be put away. It's not all good though. Here are 3 bad things about this property. So number 1 is the scenery around it. It's not particularly bad by any means. It's just you're looking at a block of flats, houses, a bus, and more houses behind. So it's not exactly a aspirational setting, and it's not the most scenic thing I've ever looked at. Number 2 is the price of this property. Because of the huge demand from both buyers and renters, it's not quite got the discount that I would like to move forward with. That being said, because of that demand, it's more likely you can sell it for more, and I've got this gut instinct that you could chuck it straight in the auction and get 5 to 10 grand more than you paid. So number 3 is just the amount of space out here. It's definitely for a certain demographic, and even if from upstairs you look at other people's gardens, they're a little bit bigger than what's available here. It's not the end of the world, and I'll be completely honest, I love this property and I am scraping the barrel, but it definitely limits the demographic. Like, you're probably not going to have somebody with a couple of kids wanting to live here and build their family with this amount of space outside. Hi guys, just to wrap up this video, I'm putting these videos together, viewing properties that I'm buying every single month, as well as a load of other property investment tips, tricks and techniques that you can implement, helping you to grow your portfolio. In return, I'd really appreciate if you just hit the like and leave a comment. It really does help push this video out and help other people. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet and you are new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of the other property investment videos that come out, and I'll see you in the next one.